do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. We are back. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. We are apparently back. You know, it hasn't happened in weeks, and there it was. So hopefully I'm still here. Let people come back in. Okay, I think I was talking about, I know what I was talking about before, that you do not have to you don't have to always follow the lines that the artist has put in. So I am going to, on that note, I am going to, watch, I'm going to make this black. And I am going to erase those lines. I'm going to think about that. Maybe I'm only going to do it on one side. Because you know, I am all about the experiment first and see if you like it, then do the whole thing wrong. So I think I might do that. Hello, everybody. And hello, Nanamo. Okay, thank you. Thank you for following me over, Melody and Loretta and Nanamo. Vacation. Yeah, what's the scoop, girl? Did you find any young hotties to bring home with you? Oh wait, you were with your grandkids. Never mind, you were not on the hunt for young hotties. Sorry. And thank you, Melinda. You know, Melinda, you continue to impress me. You really do. Thank you. I would not have thought of that. And too hot for them to handle. Now that I actually believe. That I do in fact believe. Okay, so now I'm going to try to bring in a brown because I'm kind of working out what I want to do. And I am just so in love with this potato brown color. I don't know why, but I like it, and I actually like the yellow ochre, and I really like the chamois. So I think that I'm bringing the chamois in as the border color and save the potato for something more flower-esque. So chamois, that is the Y337. So whichever one of you sees it first, point it out to me. In the meantime, I'll continue to hunt too. There it is, right there. Hello again, Louise. And I just like the idea that you guys can reach through and point out the right one to me. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one and do this side. So what I'm trying to do today is encourage everyone to think outside the box as far as your colors go. Ooh, now let me see if I can actually focus that, because that just looks terrible. Oh, geez Louise. Okay, I'm going to come out. I have to remember how to do this. And I have to autofocus here. So I will put my hand in there. autofocus, take it off, then say done, then zoom down and go back to focus. Is it just my eyes? Like I can hit it and then okay. I think that might be as close as I'm going to be able to get it. Is that sort of in focus for everybody? PMS double down. Wait. 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 I'd be glad I'm not skilled enough to draw what I want to do, or I end up. Thank you, Nanamo, for loving the colors. And oh my goodness, Loretta. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, that's no, I get it. I completely get it. Yes, I agree. Oh, that is too funny. I don't think I'm going to ask you what kinds of things you want to draw, Loretta, but I'm going to guess they aren't wearing any clothes. And there, believe it or not, there is a market for that kind of art. I don't happen to know what it is or where to find the patrons of it, but there really is. So, you know. Oh, thank you, whoever those folks are. Thank you so very much. That is greatly appreciated. I be able to bring a 50% off sale. I can't always do it, but when I can, I will, and I do. I am liking that. I am liking that. Okay, this is good. So now I need to find a second place to use this dark color, and I don't know quite where yet, but I am liking it. All right. So now we've got these, and I'm leaving the colors out as we use them so that I won't forget which ones we're using. So looking back now at our color palette, and we've got our raw silk, and this pearl white kind of interesting as far as a, whoops, you can't see that, can you? As a beige. And the yellow ochre is still definitely looking good too. So we use the chamois. Let me pull out the Y423 and the Y710. So since I won't remember both of those, Y423 and oh, the chances are looking good that I actually will remember them both before I have to look at the list again. Y710. Okay. I was watching this thing on PBS today that was talking about how to keep your brain engaged, or how to, keep from being less confused as you get older. And one of the things that it was talking about, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm going to try it right here. on this. Um, she says as she stumbles over her words yet again. That's more of a function of distraction, however, thinking about 4 different things at once. But it called for, continuing to educate yourself on things that are hard or things that are tricky. And so it's one of the reasons why I like to work with video editors and, doing all of the kinds of things that I'm trying to do, teach myself new software and all of that, is in an effort to make sure that I am training my brain to something all the time. I'm going to go ahead and use this one lightly on these leaves here. And because I am going to come back in and do shading with pencils, but I absolutely love these markers. And so I want to be able to utilize them. Now I'm also going to want to pull this color down in here. And so I think that I'm going to use it for these in here. It's a slightly different shade than the chamois. This is the ochre. It's actually labeled as yellow ochre, which I don't really understand. Your brain cell is totes untrainable cell. Is what? Is totes un? Okay, I don't know what totes are. I guess. Love, love, love my swatch book. I know you do, Animo. Should I will it to you in the event of my unlikely death? Because I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm just going to live forever. That is my attitude about it. All right, so I love that. I love the way that that's working together. Who knew that you could make a pretty color palette out of black and brown? And you can. I'm not being very good here. Now, if I could just figure out how to maintain my eyesight for the rest of my life, I would be in even better shape. Just going to pull this one out a little bit, mostly because I love this color, and I'm not done coloring with it yet. If I had my own way, I would, well, of course I have my own way, but if I had my own way and endless supply to or endless access to a fabric store, I would reupholster all of my furniture in these particular colors. I love the way they work together. So I've gotten a lot of really good feedback on that gray and pink with a splash of turquoise color palette. And totes means totally. Oh, okay. So if I go back and I read your initial statement that said your brain cell is totally untrainable. I do not believe that for even a second. And yes, I do like learning new stuff. I love learning new stuff, and I try. It isn't a good day unless I uh, unless I step or sorry, now I'm reading Elizabeth's comment. It isn't a good day unless I've learned something new. That's what I wanted to say. And so back to this PBS thing. That sorry, I keep going the wrong direction. I'm up so close. Um, it was it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable the difference that it makes in Alzheimer's patients in the the onset of the disease, and also how it affects those already suffering. If they can work their brain in a in a way where they are learning new things, it seems to slow down the progression of the disease in some people, not in, of course, everybody, but in some people. And I can really see how that would be true because in I remember watching my stepmother slowly decline from dementia, and she was somebody who always, always, always loved. And now this informs me now that what I want for the ends here is this color. Only I don't remember what color that was. It was the 710, so it was this one. So now that I've gotten those in, I know that the right color for this is the 710. And that's what I was trying to figure out, is what colors that I want to use on each area. But she was always doing something artistic, learning to paint, learning to sew, learning to knit, buying knitting machines, things that she never had time for when she worked in a hospital, which was how she made her living as a cardiac technician, cardiac technician. I guess that's what it was. Okay. Now, I still have to decide on the stuff out there, but I don't know exactly what we're going to do with that yet. And wow. Okay. Now I've got to go. I'm missing chat. There we go. Yes. And oh wow. Wow, Nanimo. Yes, that's a long time. I think if you added in the couple of years that my dad covered up how bad it was actually getting, that my stepmother probably suffered for at least that long as well. Okay, now I need a different color for these, and I don't know maybe I'm going to reserve that for the question mark. The blacks, the browns, and the question mark. So let's now decide what the color should be around the, I think darker or I think darker. I think darker, and I almost want to use the I want to use either the brown or the praline. Praline 648. Let's go with the 648 with the praline. Pretty soon I'm going to have all of the browns out of the case. So let's try the praline. Thumbs up. Oh, thank you, Nana. Yeah, and hello to everybody who is here. Anybody that I have missed, please know that I uh, did not do so intentionally. I'm going to see about doing this every second one and see if that effect floats my boat. Oh, I'm kind of liking that. Kind of liking that. We're going to come out with this one just to change it up. Yes, I like that. Hi, Nika. And I actually know your name now, Caroline. I do not know why I did not know that, Caroline. But thanks to YouTube, now I do know it. Or not YouTube, but Instagram. I have been studying everybody's Instagram and finding out their real names. It's been lovely. I've been doing a lot more on Instagram in the last couple of months than I ever have, just because I realize that people like Instagram and they like to go there. So that a lot. So gold. Do you think gold? I think gold. Gold is screaming my name as far as that color goes. So I'm thinking I am going to start with the pale cream 501. Oh, you can't see that. Pale cream for the gold 501. Why 501? Whoops, you can't see that either. Look at those pretty CaliArt markers. Thank you, Melinda. I say that every time I take these out because I love them. Oh, see, now I've forgotten the number 501. So it is, as we age, it is a daily fight to keep our cognitive, there it is, to keep our cognitive goodies. And it's turning out that it is good for us to keep exercising our minds. That is making a long story much shorter. So keep that in mind. Read, enjoy, imagine, and learn. And you will last longer with a better quality of life. Is the takeaway from that is the takeaway today. Have a better quality of life by always indulging your imagination and learning new things. Even if it's just that there is an eighth continent called Zealandia. Who knew? Most of it is underwater. Its two major points of coming out of the ocean are New Zealand, which is made up of at least two and possibly more islands, and then one other group of islands whose name I cannot remember. Exactly my point, Louise. I would just cry and die if I did not learn new things every day. Because my life would not be worth living if it was not for education, for learning new things, for I love innovation. I love thinking outside the box. I love kids that find new and creative ways to solve old problems, um, and I embrace it, which is why I embrace computers and video making and um, learning digital art programs and all of those kinds of things. Okay, although I hand draw, but I have learned all of my thumbnails. I'm now, I used to use occasionally when I would create a thumbnail for a video, I would go to like one of those places like Canva or something like that to get, where you get a free program. But now I started making them in my Inkscape software, and it's remarkably easy. Um, I'm learning to work with layers in the art program. 3 weeks ago, if you'd have told me that I could finally figure out how to use layers in art, um, and and now, of course, I completely understand it because I use it every day. And I'm slowly but surely putting new thumbnails on all of my videos because, according to Nick Nimmin, the YouTube guru, and all of the people in the creators studio, um, uh, thumbnails are important. Attractive thumbnails are important to get your videos seen. And I'm just reading chat. Okay, uh, totally a thing of beauty, Christine. Thank you. Uh, well, I don't know if I'm sage, but and I'm rapidly not lovely these days. But I do try to always be a lady. Uh, yeah, okay, you get really bored. Yep, Louise, we talked about that. Where is, say what? Where is this? Where's this? Where's what? Now I'm confused. Does watching YouTube count as mind exercise? If you are learning something, Joey, yes, I think it does. It's one of the reasons why, and I put this. You guys have, if you haven't seen or the video that I posted just this morning, then you haven't seen this yet. But there is a channel out of Russia called Positive Couple, and it is this man who creates the most beautiful art furniture, and the furniture itself is a work of art. And his videos are put together in such a way that they're quick, but they show you everything, including the amazing craftsmanship, just amazing hand craftsmanship that goes into each piece that they make. And it is inspiring like you cannot believe. Um, at least it is to me. Just I don't like the finished product of what he makes. It's because it's colors that I don't particularly care for, but I appreciate the the sheer thoughtfulness that goes into how he learned to do each piece, or how he made each piece, which isn't always the easy way, because he doesn't use, he doesn't buy stuff already pre-made. He makes everything. Uh, so it's just, as a piece of art, they really are incredible. All right, now I need to, these are going to have some darker brown in pencil around them, which is what is holding me up kind of on the idea of doing, I think, you know what, I may just do this, and I want the potato brown. That's the color that I've been holding out for. That would be the Y623, and that is not it. And that is not it. But Y623, no. Brown, 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 brown. There it is, right there. If it was a snake, it might have jumped out and bit me. Okay, and so I don't want to make too much of a point of this, but I just want to get a little bit in there. And don't worry, because I'm gonna blend this out with some other colors. Anyway, I just want to get a little narrow bit of it in there so that I get an idea of what I'm gonna want for the colors that'll make this guy here work. And who knows, we may end up liking the way that this looks. Oops. Can you tell I've gone all week without talking to anybody, though? Except the camera. Yakking about all kinds of things. Thumbnails are like book covers. They draw the viewer to the reader. Yes, they draw in the viewer or the reader. That's exact. And yes, and people do. You judge a book by its cover. I do. I am always much more attracted to an attractive color. Of course, I buy all my books off or the vast majority of the books that I buy, although I haven't bought a book in, I hesitate to tell you, it's been 2 years since the last time I bought a book. And I used to buy them by the dozen. So it is one of the things that, you give up to be an artist, is some of the things that you used to really love doing so much. And that is things like books. Although there's plenty, believe me, I've got plenty of stuff to read. I have about 2,000 books. So it's not like I'm short of reading material, just not in possession of any reading material I haven't already read. And Apple, thankfully, has the Apple University and the Apple bookstore, where there's tons of stuff to read that doesn't cost anything. And there's always the library, where you can get it for free and you don't have to pay for storage. Yeah, the added, but you also have to read it on a schedule. Theirs. Now there is something that I wish more people would do. More people should take advantage of their public libraries and go and do it. Go get a library card and go to the library every now and again and check out books, or you can just sit and read books. It's a great way to spend an afternoon if you don't have anything else pressing. They've got computer labs there. They've got all kinds of resources. And of course, if you do any kind of research at all, librarians really are worth their weight in gold. And good research librarians are amazing if you're trying to figure something else out. And then there's also the Internet Archive, and that's what it's called, internetarchive.org. And that is where you can get, might as well do this last one because I'm kind of liking the way those look. The internetarchive.org is a place where people have either used photo capture software to capture the pages of out of copyright, out of print books. And I mean, when I say people, I mean people like the Bodleian and the Smithsonian and the other major college libraries around the world that have these books that are that were originally printed. And for me, it's especially helpful because a lot of them are art books that are online. And I can actually study what was written 80, 90, 100 years ago rather than have to buy brand new art books that show basically the same techniques and information, but just written by people that are alive now. Um, and quite frankly, the folks back then were often much better at explaining what they were doing and why. Thank you, Melinda. I am liking this color palette very much. I'm liking it very, very much. I thank you so much for these markers because they really have brought out a girl creativity in me since I no longer have to, spend the hours and hours trying to do pencil techniques. I can test things out, uh, using the markers, especially for color palettes. Because I can show you let's see, move this down, keep it in the middle of the screen, Christine. I can move it down. No, that wasn't not what I was going to talk about. I could more easily pick out what's going to work. Let's stop there. I'm also going to use this right along in this one as well. This one may just be a marker piece. Who knows? Although I doubt it because I think we're going to use these. This is really just a base layer. All right. So I like that very much. I believe that the interior of this is going to be the black. So let me do these two in the black. We'll see how that looks. Ooh. Gone from talking a blue streak to not saying a word. That's the concentration level as you get in there. Well, I was talking about the Internet Archive, I think. And I used to, when I was working, I have always needed many irons in the fire or many things. So when I was working, I would spend hours and hours at night and on the weekend working for either Project Gutenberg or Ancestry.com or the Internet Archive. Well, Project Gutenberg actually fed the Internet Archive for a long time. The data, and what they would do is they would use OCR software, which is optic or ORC, optic optic resolution software. It's ORC. And what it would do is it would capture the text and translate it, and then you had to correct it, proofread it, and correct it because it was never right. And so that's what I did through Project Gutenberg. And you could do it at various levels. There's 3 levels of proofreading, and then finally the last person who checks the file is the one who puts it together in the final format. And I had worked my way all the way up to that final format person, and then gave it up when I discovered Ancestry.com, and they have because that was so interesting. They, at the time, well, they are always finding old records or getting old records donated to them that they then take optical pictures of and put them, you put the data, you're picking out names. It's always names. So anything that has names. So if there's a little town that discovers in an attic a box of town records from 1907 or whatever, they turn them over to Ancestry, who then takes pictures of the documents, notates any names, and puts those up as part of their membership service for genealogists. And it's one of the ways that people can then look after the fact for articles and things like that that involved their ancestors. And so but it's all volunteer, and so I did that for a while and really enjoyed it until I then discovered drawing, and that is now I spend my time doing this and hopefully learning new things. Let me go one more since we're in here. Come in here under the camera. See, I end up having to do one more to keep the balance going. Pardon me. Where are we? We are 42 minutes in. Trying to put my coffee back on the warmer. Are we really only 42 minutes in? I'm quite likely going to cough any second because the man is out front mowing my lawn and kicking up all that. I can smell the grass. Which wouldn't be a problem except it kicks up the mold spores in the grass. And it's been raining all week. Along with 90-degree temperatures, which is okay. So now we have, now we have me who has somehow misplaced a cow. Excuse me. Nothing wrong with following one's passion. Oh, I'm gonna love reading back the chat on this. You win that lottery. Chances of that are 0. Well, actually, they're actually a little better than 0, but you have to enter to win. I cannot tell you. Thank you, Melinda. I was wondering why it seemed so short. I guess I need a... Oh, okay. Yeah, we are now actually closer to an hour and a half in. Got it. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. So now I need to go with what will be next up here. And I know it's not going to be green. And I do believe that I'm going to go with raw silk again, which is the 400. It's this one, or this in here. And I'm going to go ahead and just do, just like before, I'm going to do the entire inside flower. Because then we can add different colors to it as we go along in the different layers. Plus, it's fast. And I'm very, very pleased to say that, these are alcohol markers, and the ink on the Create Space paper or the, Kindle paper does not bleed. Okay, so there's those. And then I think I want to introduce something a little bit different for the outer leaves, but still something that will show. So I am thinking the terracotta. How about, oops, you can't see that. Back you out. I'm thinking the terracotta, right? There. So that'll work. So that's why 826. Oh, there we go. I finally get to use this one. I keep grabbing this because I love this color. Love, love, love this color. Those are some of my absolutely favorite pots in the world. The flowering or pots for flowers. I love terracotta, but not the new ones, not the brand new ones that are the bright, the bright yellow. Or the bright orange. I like the older ones that are genuine, ironstone, or not ironstone. The thing that makes terracotta is that it's got iron in it, rust. It iodizes. Oh yeah, I like that. I'm going to leave a little white spot, and I'm going to throw our gold into it and see if that will work. The gold that I used was the Y501. Which was this one. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, what's the trick? Nanimo. Oh, that is the trick. LOL. Hi, Sue. As usual, you're drawing while you are coloring. Well, good. Uh, Deb, you can lurk, you can chat, I'm just so delighted that you're here. That is what matters to me. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this color. Oh, I love this color. I think color palette wise, one of my favorite places that I ever lived was Arizona. The northern deserts of Arizona. I guess the high desert. Of course, it was like that in Reno as well. It was, the greens were sort of a olivey green, but the rocks were gorgeous. But there is nothing like the red rocks of Sedona. And I count myself very lucky to have lived there for a couple of years and gotten to see them and climb them. Okay, I like that. And I'm also going, okay, no, I'm not. I'm going to pull the chamois, which is the 6. The chamois is a 337, so that's this one. And I'm going to put it on these. I'm going to try and leave that little tiny dot in the center to make it look like a reflection or a highlight. So I'm just going around the outside of them. Then I can use, I've about decided to, well, no, I'm going to use pencils. I'm going to use pencils to do the shading on that. So that'll work. I'm going to have to watch back this video to be able to tell what I used when I go to do the rest of it. That is so funny to find out what the colors are that I actually used. All right, so this, I think I'll do, okay, this one, I'm going to put the gold dot in there. And then do this part. So it has been a week of dealing with issues going on in my head. You know how we all tell ourselves stories about things that happen or all of that. I've had a week of that. I finally got tired of listening and told myself to shut up. Maybe that's why I'm being especially talkative today. Goes along the we are our own worst critics kind of avenue. Okay, now I'm going back and see if I can't fade that out just a tad so that it, yeah. I think that's one of the keys to blending the alcohol markers is making sure that you've got lots of saturation going on because your lighter color will chase your dark color back. Just like that. I had a very good talk with my friend Sue, though. Not Sue Thomas, but my friend Sue Curry, who has always been my encourager. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm concentrating here. Just trying to make sure that I hit the marks. All right. I like that. I really like that. Now I need to find, oh, hey, I know where to use it. I knew there was a reason. Look, that's why I left these blank. I may live to regret this, but I like it. Especially considering that I'm going to be ultimately making that raw silk a different color anyway. We'll see how that looks when it dries. You ever do that? You ever have a week where you tell yourself something and then it turns out to not be true? I've had one of those kind of weeks. Okay. And yes, you can, Paulette. You absolutely may always use any color palette that I use, you may certainly use. Absolutely. And on the same piece, if that's what you want. I think flattery, believe me, that's one of the reasons why I do this, to so that people are inspired to either try it themselves or to think up their own. It doesn't matter. It does not matter, as long as you are being creative and having fun doing it and enjoying the process. That is what I wish for people more than anything, is to always enjoy the process. Does anybody remember what color I did, right? The 337 chamois? Yes. For that color, I'm pretty sure it was the chamois. Yes, happily it was. Oh no, I missed one. I missed leaving a dot. The world will end. No, it won't. Okay. Okay. So I'm liking that, but I am not liking this color in here. So oops, that's not the color I want. Hopefully that is not a happy mistake. I am going to I may be sorry I did that, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm changing this to that more red color, mostly because I love this red color. But it looks a little dark right now because it's not dry yet. So I'm still going to leave that one, that color, and I'm going to I'm going to leave it for right now. Okay. So I think we still need to, I need to do these two outside ones, yes, to maintain the balance so it's pretty. Does anyone else, or does anyone use a magnifying glass light combo to color? Ah, that's a good idea. Elizabeth, you know, I used to have one of those. It was on a spring arm like my camera boom is, and it had a. Thank you to whoever you are. Thank you for the sale. It had it was a round ring, and it had a magnifying glass in the center and a ring light, and you would actually, it was designed for needlework really, and actually what the people who had it that I ended up getting one or getting it from, and I should say I don't have it anymore, otherwise I'd get an address and send it to you. Um, but it's great for needlework. Now I understand they have them that are fairly inexpensive. For art, you know, for people that draw really fine lines and things like that, I think you can. I think you can get them, and I don't think they're that expensive. You need to find a better one. How big is the one that you have? The one that I used to use was about I don't know, dinner plate size. Can't decide. Well, now that's a different problem. That's a different problem. I think that a magnifier with you know, with, because I think magnifying glasses have to meet certain specifications to be called magnifying glasses and or glass. And yeah, prices do vary, absolutely. But I have always found that that you do not have to go with more expensive to get better or to get, you know, to get usable or anything like that. Like, you know, and this is the perfect example. I had always been told, oh well, you never want to use, you know, the re-ink or refilled ink cartridges because your printer won't like them or it won't register them or it, you know, won't work right or whatever. But when they're half the cost of new at double the amount, uh, you know, you got to give them a try. And as it turns out, they're absolutely fantastic. So, not that the two things are necessarily related, but oh, sorry, got lost. It's going to go with this. Oops, I didn't close that one. That's why it looks funny. And we'll do this one over here. Actually, I woke up out of a sound sleep last night going, brown is a color too, which made me laugh. And now the terracotta again, which I just love this color. What can I say? Hello, Paulette. You have one that can go around your neck and sit on your chest, or it can stand on the desk. Ooh, that sounds. Text you a few times on Messenger. I'm not heard back. I'm hoping. Oh, Sue, no, of course not. No, I've been really busy. My I've had a terrible week. Well, I'll just say that, and it's been sort of traumatic. So we'll leave it alone. But uh, But no, I apologize if I haven't gotten back to you. I'm not always able to get back on Messenger. Uh, so I do apologize. It is not personal. No, you have not made me angry or upset me in any way. I am, as you know, happy to help. Uh, I just have had I just had something happen that sort of shook me up. That's all. And I've been concentrating a lot on working and trying to get the basic work done so that I can clear the decks for my next book. And that is, of course, I need to do that to be able to, earn enough money to live by, that kind of thing. The way that publishing works is that if you don't keep publishing, it's like a scientist. If you don't keep publishing your work, uh, people forget about you. Sure, I've got the wait. No, that's not what I want. I want 501, right? Right. Okay. This is the gold. I got to go with this end because this end is the one that seems to push back the darker color. Okay. I think that after I finish this, at an hour, yeah, 3:44. So by the time I finish this one and yak with you all a little bit, what do you think? Should we keep going or should we stop? I don't know who, if anybody, is coming on after me. I have not heard from Dev at all this week, so I don't know. And I see Gary's not here, so I don't know what's going on over on that front. I think that I will also let's drag out the pencils and let's see what we can do. Well, geez, did I actually forget that one? I did. I'm out of balance. I looked up at my screen and it's out of balance. I'm like that will never do. It's got to be in balance. I say I don't really have OCD, but man, I'll tell you what, I cannot stand to see things that are not balanced. They make me uncomfortable. Which reminds me, there was an episode of Monk. Do y'all remember Monk? That was on. Of course, I just saw the rerun on it yesterday, and Monk's therapist has decided to quit doing therapy and move on. And so he has sent Monk to a new therapist. And the new therapist is missing a limb. He's missing his right arm from an accident that he had. And this, of course, Mr. Monk, who has many, many ridiculous paranoias, among them being, or phobias, I guess, among them being fear of people that are missing, that aren't balanced, that aren't symmetrical. That's it. And that made me laugh because, of course, I love symmetry as well. But, of course, I have no such phobias. So, well, in that case, if gotta straighten that pick on the wall or the rug on the floor. Yes, yes, I am a terrible housekeeper, but every pick is hanging straight, and every rug is in line with the piece of furniture that it is under. Uh, what can I say? See, I'm starting to feel like a professional with these markers. Popping caps off, making choices, blending out my little dots, that kind of thing. All right. Okay, I am at an hour and 50 minutes. I do not have a problem continuing on if you would like me to, and because I want to do a little pencil work and show you guys what I had in mind. But I do need a very quick break. You put flowers in a vase, arrange them in an S. Wait, I put flowers in a vase, arrange them in an S-type shape. Come home the next day, and hubby had rearranged it so both sides were the same. Exactly. That's funny. That's funny. So he is symmetrical as well. He is a symmetrical, and you are an asymmetrical. Uh, and stay, please. Okay, all right, I will. In that case, if you guys will give me just a second for a quick, what is it? What is the code that we use for when we need a little bathroom break? Oh yeah, I need some more coffee. I'll be right back. See, I got to make the line straight. Okay. Yay. Coffee. Good thing you can't see me. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Boy, do I have clutter. Yes, yes, yes. And I have way too many books, and yet I cannot seem to bring myself to give them up. I have tried to, to make stacks to give away, and the stacks are still in the stacks that I made. And I find that I don't like a reader. I don't like one of those Kindle things. I tried one in the store. I really, if I'm going to read from my Apple, I have to actually plug it into my computer so I can put it up on my big screen. And even then, I don't particularly like reading on the computer either. I like to be able to sit in my nice chair with a good light and a hot cup of tea and my feet curled up under me and just get lost for, the next 3 hours in wherever it is that the story is taking me, or whatever concept it's discussing, or, whatever is going on with it. Oh, I am liking this color palette. Is anybody else liking this color palette? With coloring books that you did with books, your house is going to collapse. Caroline, when they, I think they did I don't remember what it was, but it was like 40 tons of stuff that they took out of the Potter's house on Curiosity Inc. I don't remember exactly what it was, but apparently it really did put a strain on all of the foundation. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going next year, guys. Do I stick with the markers and keep going with this, or do I actually, I think I'm going to drag out the pencils. All right, that is what I'm going to do, because that's what I said I was going to do. So we've got the CaliArt markers. Once again, if you are new and have just walked in the door, 50% off sale in my Etsy shop. Link is not in this restart video, but it is in the first start video. But it's CLAldridgeArt, one word, on Etsy, and you should easily be able to find me. Okay, now I'm going to use the deli colored pencils. Mostly because it's warm in the house and things are in the refrigerator. And I don't really want to go get them. And we are going to color some details. I do believe that I want to turn to these are my deli colored swatches. I think I've mentioned before, that I did this on the wrong paper. This is my drawing paper, and consequently all the colors look muted and washed out. So I believe what I want is the 158. Oh, for pity's sake. Oh no. Oh no, come back. Come back. Where did you go? You cannot run away. Where did you go? There you are. There you are, most useful tool on my desk. Where are you? 158. Okay, got it. And I do believe that I'm going to come up from here. Oh, thank you to whoever that was. And see, this is a good match for this. And I'm going to move my CaliArts. Yes, this is a perfect color match for it. And I'm using the, just sort of the downward stroke and only really covering the black lines that I put in. The shading lines. So you never need to be afraid of going over your either Inktense or your markers with colored pencils. You can always do that. And it, especially considering that many markers are so pigmented that it is very hard to do subtle work. Yes, I lost my magnifying glass. This is my magnifier, and this is what it does. And you put it down on something that is writ small, and it writes it large so that you can see it. It is quite the most useful thing. And I have tried and tried and tried but to find another one of these, and I can't. So I'm sure there are some. It's just made of acrylic. I mean, it's not. It's or I can find them in all sorts of shapes, but I can't find any more in that shape. But yeah, it is quite the most handy thing on my desk, especially for reading the fine print on bills. Things like that, because they always put the important stuff, or contracts. They always put the important stuff in tiny print, and that's the part that you really should be reading always. The smaller the print, the more important it usually is. I'll be adding some more darker color to bump the contrast on the inside as well, but this helps. And these limited color palettes are so very powerful. And the reason why I know that is because I've noticed pretty consistently that limited color palettes get the most likes. You know, they seem to be the most striking, that people stop and say, ooh. There's lots of beautiful color palettes. And I know where I was originally going with when I was talking about this channel shout out that I did for Daniel Wall Art on Instagram, is his color palettes. I'd love to be able to try that with colored pencils or markers on a landscape drawing. So as soon as I find the right landscape drawing to do it on, I will I'll practice a little bit with it and then bring it and show you guys how to do it. Because I think that it would translate well the way that he paints to those that like it. He uses primarily jewel tones, and they're very vibrant, and you just should go look at his art. Daniel Wall Art. All right, now I also want to put some of this in here, and I'm going to come this way with it. The worst thing that can happen is I can end up having to erase it. I'm going to go very, very light and just at the very tip. Not a long distance down, but just at the very tip. And see what I think about that. Or see what we think about that. Although I think I may be leaning a little too much into the red browns. Although I kind of like it. I admit, I kind of like it. If anybody, and mods, if you can't stay, I completely understand that, or whatever. Okay, you think oh, Melinda, that would be great. You know, that would be terrific. I already have one, but I'll use the link to be able to turn other people on to it. That's for sure. Okay, and so I like that. I think I'm just going to leave that for its own. And then I want to bump down into a darker brown still and do a little bit around the inside of the big flowers. So I've got this is the 164 deli, which is a very dark brown, like a dark chocolate brown. I'm just going to add a little bit into the very depths of that to just give it a little more dimensionality, like it is like it's sunk in. And shorter than what I did before. As I go over the redder of those two browns, see how it sort of blends up, and it looks really, really nice. At least it does from this angle. I like it. I am liking this color palette. Wow. I am shocked. I am actually shocked that I like this as well as I do. Hello, Rochelle. It is lovely to see you. And I mean, it's certainly different. It's different than you see a lot of, and I like the idea of being a little bit different. Uh-oh, see, I went too far on that one. I only want it to be in the very depths of the color. So I could actually do it this way as well and blend it out, but I like the stroke method more. The single stroke, one direction. The flick is what it is. And I'm flicking down instead of sideways. Okay, and then go to this one. So I'm sort of torn between, on the one hand, I never expected Mandalas to be the best-selling book that I'd ever done. And I'm not sure what that means. Should I do more mandalas? Should I do more dragons? This has been one of the sources of my trauma this week, is trying to, and consequently not being able to do anything. It's like being frozen in place. And I guess all artists who create art go through a certain level of that. Whoa, what do I draw? What do I do next? People seem to like this. Should I do more of that? Should I do something else? Should I do something new? I'm trying to see if I can back any of that out. One of them is an overcoloring of pencil, and the other one is an overcoloring of marker. So I guess it's going to depend upon what I do with the jewels, because those will be jewels, and that may be where I use that other color that I have the question mark on. Blacks, browns, beiges, and other something. Because that other could be the thing that really pops it or kills it, whichever the case may be. Melinda, and that's the point I'm trying to emphasize. You hit the nail right on the head, because I know that there are many people who color and have a tough time imagining something that is supposed to be green, like a leaf, in a different color. Oh, yeah. Deb, I got a long way to go on dragons. There's only 6 of them so far, and I've got to have a book out before Christmas if I don't want to starve. So, and I don't really want to starve. So, I'm not sure that I can finish dragons. I know I could do a Mandala's book. Maybe. I'm sure I could do both. I'm sure that I could do a book of both. So I'm going to look into, I don't know exactly what I want to yet. And that has been sort of the source of my trauma and drama. It has, I will not, I will certainly not be secretive. that it has hurt me to not be able to go into streams comfortably anymore, um, as a resident artist, and have the host actually talk about the books that I draw and things like that. And that is something that happened, and it is just not gonna, it's gotten a whole lot better, I can tell you that, but it's not better yet, and so it killed my joy. Is really what happened. It killed my joy in my craft dead, and to think that I could have it all taken away for a lie, and stuff that people made up. But that is that's my problem to deal with, and I will in fact deal with it. But every once in a while my armor cracks, and I had a week of cracked armor. So so that is what's happening in my life. You don't need to hear that. You don't need to worry about it. Everything will be fine. It always is. See, now I get a little upset and then I get creative. Look at that. Look at that. That is, I like that. I like the way that turned out. Ha well, Caroline, it is what it is. And it's what happened. It is what happened. And I could tell myself stories about how unfair it is and all of that, but it wouldn't negate the fact that I just have to deal with it. I have to suck it up and deal with it, which is what I've been doing. I like that. Oh, see how it just sort of adds a little bit of zhuzh to that, to do that? And take that, naysayers. You'll just make me more creative, that's all. Oops, I'm trying to get rid of the thing. So you can see what I'm doing here. Although I'm sure you could probably have seen it before. I'm just adding a little bit of like an extra stripe or two down in that color with the sharp end of the pencil. And it creates a whole new look. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Oh no, and she's human. Well, Melinda, yeah, it's my head. It's me in my own head. It's got, it's just me in my own head. That's all. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. So now I've got, okay, so I did the little bits of that in there, and I want to darken up the gold or emphasize the gold in this color. So I want to go back to a 106 and see if I can't bump that up just a little bit. I've also got the 107. Let me see if the 107 is too. I think the 106 is what I want. So let me. Oh, I really enjoyed Lori Color My World talked about this sharpener and the problems that she's had with it, and they are exactly the same problems that I've had with it. So as much as I love my Prismacolors, I cannot find myself recommending their sharpener. The M&R, which I do have, is a better sharpener, and I only go to the Prismacolor sharpener because it seems to sharpen these deli pencils very well. And I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but so I'm coloring I sharpen my Prismas with the M&R and my delis with the Prisma. You just have to keep them to, you just have to keep them to, keep at it until you figure out which sharpener, because I don't think there is a universal sharpener that works best with all pencils. I think that, like pencils on paper, different sharpeners sharpen better or worse depending upon what you're trying to sharpen. So this is, oh yeah, see, this is what I want. So I'm going to color just a little bit up the edge of this, and it's a nicer, and it makes the gold pop, already having that light base underneath it. And then I'll see what I can do about running a more interesting tip on the end of these little guys. And you don't have to be fussy about it. You know, you do kind of, I see it shows very much on the camera. It does not necessarily show here in front of my eyes. But as my friend Katie said to me, she said the joy is often in the adventure. And that means actually that is a lot, because, you know, we are made stronger by the things that that are averse to us. And that is a universal truth, by the way. A universal truth is that nobody who has ever been, who has ever survived being, you know, a traumatic event isn't made stronger by it. They just are. And that is, you know, that is in fact the reward and the joy being in the adventure. So I hold fast to that truth because it is, A, it's, you know, it's kind of comforting, and B, it's true. It really is true. Okay. I like it. 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 Ah, see? The joy is back in Mudville tonight. Any Americans of an age that would know what that's for? There is no joy in Mudville tonight. Mighty Casey has struck out. It's a baseball reference, actually. Okay. Ooh. Ah, I like it. And that lets me know that we should put some yellow. How about some gold? Not a lot, but maybe a little. Up here in these flowers. And see, it doesn't take a lot. I'm just putting, you know, just a few little lines of color in there. That really makes that, it changes the whole feel of that flower from the browns sort of to the golds, but it's still Still, what would you guys like to be really impressed? Anybody want to be really impressed? How many people can say the Jabberwocky from start to finish? That's the one I had to memorize for that. You had to memorize that for a semester final. I had to memorize the Jabberwocky for English. They gave us a choice of Casey at the bat, something else, and the Jabberwocky, and I chose the Jabberwocky Lewis Carroll. And I can still do it's one of those things. For some reason, I got in the habit of saying it to myself when I got in the shower, and I still do it. So these are just the little details. Some of them will come to you. Oops. And if you don't see them, then don't worry about adding them in. What is Jabberwocky? It is a poem by Lewis Carroll, and it's from either the original Alice in Wonderland or Alice Through the Looking Glass. And I'm not sure which one. I think it is Alice Through the Looking Glass. But it goes like this. It goes, "'Twas brillig in the slithy toe." Oh, wait. Now, of course, I won't be able to do it. "'Twas brillig in the slithy tobe, did gyre and gumble in the wabe. All mimsy were the bull grove, and the mome rath outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought, and so rested he by a tum-tum tree, and stood awhile in thought. And as in uppish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumping back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous Caluculae, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig in the slithy toe, did gyre and gumble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogrove, and the mome rath outgrabe. Oh, and that's it. That's the whole poem. And it's amazing that I actually remember it again still. It is weird, the things that stick with us, because I learned that in high school, and I've never been able to forget it. Mostly because I did. That's how I taught myself to memorize it every day. As I took a shower, I had to say it to myself, and I did that for like 3 months. In anticipation of the final. And actually, I don't think I want that one. Well, yeah, actually, the yellow works. The yellow works. And I still do it to this day. I'm 60 years old, and I still say it to myself every time I get in the shower. The other one I had to remember was the Gettysburg Address, but I don't remember all of it anymore. I can remember about the first couple of stanzas, and then after that it gets sort of fuzzy. And I think because it's so upsetting, it's such a. Whereas the Jabberwocky was lots of fun. The the memorial of the Gettysburg Address is just more than my little heart wants to deal with. So yeah, I'm probably getting carried away with the yellow here, but that's okay. I'm allowed to get carried away. Okay. And oh, Loretta, I'm glad you liked it. Um, there is. Oh, here is what I'm now absolutely addicted to. I am absolutely addicted to stories from the stage, and I need to put a link to it in somewhere for you guys. If you just do a search on YouTube for stories from the stage, it'll pop up, and it's associated with the World News Channel. And it is basically stories. It's kind of like a TED Talk. Oh, Loretta, TED Talks. If you don't have access to TED Talks, you can find them on YouTube, TED. I have never found a TED Talk that was boring. Not ever, not one. They are all fascinatingly fabulous. And I just love it. But it's, it's people talking and telling stories and yeah, maybe it's because I've got fall on the mind that I'm liking this color palette so much. Okay, we are now 4:32. Okay, 2 hours and so 2.5 hours in, and I need to decide what I want to do with the. Oh, wait for it. Yes, that's it right there. That's the thing. That is the thing that's going to make that better. And then I'm going to use this one, which is the lighter of those two shades, or here, because it would be further up. I'm not going to take it very far, and I'm going very, very light, as I'm doing just this top section. I want to just sort of bring it along the outside, sort of even with the tip of this. I don't want to take it all the way up because I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose the light color that we used there. But yeah, I'm liking that. So back to the darker. That is so weird because on the screen, what you see on the screen, I am on the other side of the page. In reality. Because the camera flips everything. Okay. That'll work. That will work until we decide on something else. May go with a darker shade, but maybe not. Maybe just a little bit, not that color. Maybe just a little bit of a darker brown. I've lost a brown somewhere. Oh, there it is. but that's too dark. That is not the part dark I want. Maybe this one, 162. Let's look at the color chart. Find out. The 162 pencil. That's a little too. That's a little too pink of a brown. I think maybe the 163 is a better choice. Well, we can try the 163. Let's see how that works. Just to, yeah, no, I don't like it. Okay. Never mind. Wait. Nope, never mind. I'm going to go with the dark. And just work a tiny bit up. Just to give it the idea that it's sort of going down. And then I'm going to come back over it with the yellow to change it from. See, it's just, it works, it's looking too gray. That's too gray of a brown. I don't like that. Okay. So we'll just leave that part alone. And what conclusion did you come to, Jill? Hi, Jill. By the way, hi, Jill. I always seem to miss saying hi. And if there is anybody that I have missed saying hi to, please, please, please know that it is not personal. I probably didn't see you. Have I considered doing a mini holiday mandala book? I have. I've been asked to do a holiday mandala book, and I may do it. At this point in time, I would just settle for drawing something. I managed to draw a couple of things, and that I'm pretty happy with, and so that tells me that I've got, that it's coming back. The joy is coming back, and I'm certainly enjoying my coloring, and fortunately, I've got 11 books, so. But I do need to draw those. I do need to finish the dragons. Actually, coloring this dragon and having it turn out like this was a great. It was kind of cool because I'm pretty happy with this one. And but I'm really happy with the moon glow that I got here with my coloring, and with the moon glow on his knee, and all of that. So. The simultaneously drawing and learning to color is, I've been sort of in the, I'm really enjoying learning to color, and I need to go back to I really should be drawing. But we do what we have to do to keep our creative juices flowing. Otherwise, I might as well, might as well just give it up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give up the thing that keeps me alive by treating my depression. It's not going to do it. And I'm liking that. I am liking the way that looks. I need to back it out a little bit because I think that the lights are too bright, and it's preventing the richness of those colors from coming through. Although I could be wrong. I still need to do something with the plain Janeness of those others, don't I? Okay, so if I add a little bit of color in, to this, and I do apologize, everybody. I was not going to say anything at all about it, and like I say, my armor just cracks every now and again, and I apologize for that. Okay, I think I did add it on this one. Looks like I did. Yeah, but I need to do it on this one. Okay. And this, I may not, I may still add to this a little bit with a darker color, or, but we'll see. The perfectionist in me just might come out and say, no, you need to add, some gray or some whatever to, or some shading to bump that up, and all of that kind of good stuff. Okay, let's go back to this. And we can do a, because I think if I can see more of it, that if there is a change that needs to suggest itself, that I might be able to do that. On the other hand, oh, see, now from that angle right there, those colors look absolutely fabulous. And, uh, oh, Nana, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know that I certainly, I certainly did not have it for nearly as long as our mutual friend. And once again, my hat is always off to him for how well he stood up for how long. And I do wish that the boy would come back. And when I started this show today, I did not have an idea at all about what colors I was going to use, except that brown. Brown is a color too. That is the message that I got in my dreams. Brown is a color too. And when I went to bed last night, that because the video that I put up this morning runs about an hour and 44 minutes, and that takes about 8 hours of eight hours of rendering time, because the 2 hour video took 9.5 hours to render. And so it was, so I had lots of time to sleep and dream on it, because I had left it running overnight. I know he's a warrior. I know he's a warrior. And he's had a ton of, yeah, hey, you know what? I would not come to a place that tried to kill me either. I really wouldn't. I got to tell you, uh, just, just wouldn't do it. Um, the fact that we just keep showing up just goes to show that we're good people. All right, why? Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, what color? What color did I use that on that? Do we remember? Um, I need to shut up now. I'm going to shut up now. It was the chamois, I do believe. It's the color that I used. 337 for this. And that is not it. So let me grab the 337. There it is. All right. And I think I might. Did I go too far? No. Okay, I didn't. I did not go too far with that. Plus, the selfish part of me wants to see that. Wants to see that studio. In place and the book's finally up off the floor. Oops. And I got a little unneat with that one. But hopefully this will start to give us a picture of what the, as we get closer to the, I hope that was the same color that I used before. It looks like it was. Oops. Sorry about that. So as you can see, we will just continue on around. Thinking up new little ways to make this richer and nicer. Let's see. What was I doing? I was doing black. Oh, thank you, Jill. I like I say, this one sort of came to me last night as I was thinking about what I was going to do today, and well, actually, what I was thinking about was other stuff, but I was rendering a video that I posted earlier today on coloring a dragon. Jill, did you see my moon gazer dragon in time? There's my moon gazer dragon. I haven't posted him to Instagram yet, but I will later today. But there's a video on that, too, actually, where we started it. And then, of course, I had to redo the entire thing to get it finished because I messed up the frame, which you can appreciate. Here's something, Jill, you are not the only one, my dear, that restarts pictures. Look at this. I did the same kind of color. I made a mistake, boo-boo, that we all do. So just know that I do it and that I finally had to redo it to get it right. Jill and I were talking about that earlier this year, at another time. Jill has been a longtime member of my Facebook coloring fan group, as have many, and is wonderful. And then, of course, it is also Jill who sent me book on drawing dragons and Celtic knots. So, which I love, and I am actually in pretty much every day trying to find the inspiration to draw another dragon. I need my dragons to be active though, so I need to think of what I want them to be doing. And but we were talking about the fact that it's, occasionally if you make a mistake and have to start over again, but that's okay. It is okay to do that. And that's one of the reasons why I love PDFs, is because it gives you the opportunity to do that. Because you can print them off as many times as you want. With the caveat that it be for your own personal use. Always have to remember to say that. Yeah. Let's get some of these details. I really like the PBS World News. You get the news from many points of view, from both the American and world, obviously, world. And since my favorite, which used to be CBS, has gone the same route with their morning news as GMA, which is kind of, in my opinion, is mostly gone gossip instead of actual, news. Things like investigative reporting and everything is stay tuned, and some sort of misleading reason to keep you hanging on. Does anybody else care whether R. Kelly was arrested again, or or whether Kim Kardashian broke her fingernail? Maybe it's just me. Friendly and fierce dragons. Yes. And I'm not slighting anybody that does care. If those are the things that are important to you, then more power to you. Because, well, but on the other hand, I guess the bright side is that that's one less newscast I have to watch when I'm watching newscasts. And I've been watching Fiona Art still. She's still working her experiments, and oh my goodness, she has had just some gorgeous stuff. Just beautiful work. And I watch a lot of videos that Anne puts up, and she was so upset the other day when and I have made this mistake, or almost made this mistake, I should say, twice, and that is had the all clicked when you're trying to delete a video, had the all videos. Thank goodness it asks you, do you really, do you really want to delete this video? Because I happened to look over and saw all those check marks next to because it will delete an entire page of your videos with one erroneous push of a button. Okay, so there is another one. Now let me go to, what color was that? That was the Pearl White 710. So I'm just filling in some of these that are it is on the other hand, I cannot for reasons that that I was always raised that you have to stay informed. You have to stay informed. You have to read the newspaper. You have to watch the news. You have to, read about, especially if you're surrounded by vacant land or anything like that, that you need to watch the notices in the newspaper about upcoming meetings or hearings or anything like that. In other words, basically participate in your community or your government or whatever it is the case may be. Because the minute that you stop participating, now, right or wrong, the minute you stop participating, you sort of abdicate your right to complain. And at least that's the way my mother taught me. And my stepmother was exactly the same way. And so I think it was the age that they were born in, and the fact that, of course, at that point in time, after we fought a world war and then got into the mess in Korea and all of that kind of stuff, we sort of stopped paying attention. We ended up landed in the middle of Vietnam. So people were at a stage where they weren't very trusting of their government's decisions. And so consequently, they taught me to always be paying attention and to read things. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm a news junkie, because we have stuff going on here in the United States right now that it is pretty dangerous. I mean, it's from a worldview standpoint, it's pretty ugly. And so I kind of would like to be forearmed or forewarned. Who knows? I might want to stock up on something that I'll not be able to get because of these bizarre trade tariffs or something along those lines. Politics, it is important. It requires your participation. I will get off that soapbox now. Why, 623. Whatever side of an argument you're on, at least get on a side. 623. Okay, so that is, I'm going to do these sleeves here. 623 is the potato brown. It has gotten that way, yes. The news broadcasts themselves are all about the I guess the sponsorship. Is it corporate sponsorship? Is it the ads? Is it, I don't know exactly what it is, other than the fact that I don't know. I guess when you're trying to fill all those hours with what is supposedly news, that you end up having to go back to gossip. I think I mentioned that my sister, who had been a producer for ABC, so she and I had that argument all the time. She kept saying, at the time, what caused us to argue that day was when Kobe Bryant had been caught cheating on his wife. And they kept saying it's news, and I kept saying it's gossip. It's just gossip. It's it's none of my business or concern if a if a sports figure is having an affair. That is between him and his wife, and that's it. It's not my business. It's not going to change my opinion of the NFL or the NBA, I or or his ability as a ball player, or whether or not he gets enough money. And if they'd kept it quiet or just let it be between the two of them, it wouldn't have had any impact at all on kids who are impressionable in idolizing sports figures. And she'd argue, no, it's news. People have a right to know. I say, no, people do not have a right to know. He is not a public property. He is not a commodity. He is a human being with a job. He plays basketball. He gets paid a lot of money to play that job or to do that job, but otherwise he's just a guy. Am I wrong? Is that just a completely naive attitude? She thought so. Then she countered with, well, people want to know. And that's different because that actually says more about them than it does about anything else. But the vast majority of us, I notice, do not wish to listen to either gossip or, or the news as it is presented these days. Just give me the news. I will formulate my own opinion. Please do not tell me what to think about the news. I will do my own research and find out what I think about it. I'm old fashioned, I guess. Okay. Yes, exactly. Well, hi, Nancy. Yes, you did. I started it too, and we're just getting ready to. I've been on for about 3 hours, and 3 hours is usually my max. But at any rate, hi. I'm glad to see you. Um, and I saw your note about the sale, and you are very welcome. So thank you. Uh, and it was my pleasure. Be sure to write down your colors so you can finish this later. Okay. Well, this is one of the reasons why I have both a swatch book and I keep them out of the container, because here's what will happen, Elizabeth. I will, at the end of today's show, if I can't finish this right away, and I don't think I will be able to, I will take let me see if I can grab one. I will take a rubber band and I will put it around these markers. And then I know where they are, and I can, and then of course I've got my swatch book. so I can look and see what color I was using and then be able to do it. And so that's why I do that. But yes, otherwise, writing your colors down, especially if you need to put your markers or your coloring supplies away, is a really good idea. Now, I have a suspicion that when I go back to rewatch this, because I always rewatch my videos to be able to catch mistakes that I make on a regular basis, or in this particular case, always to read my Sunday chats because I don't get a chance to actually read them as we're going along. I will write down the colors next to next to a photocopy of this, so I can know exactly which ones that I used. But yes, and bye, Loretta. Bye to anybody that has actually left, and thank you, Nanamo. And again, my dear, thank you so much for being here. You know how much I appreciate you and all the nice and kind and wonderful bits of joy and sunshine that you bring into the world. And oh, you did? Oh, cool. And oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you so very much. And hang on, let me back out here so that we can get the. Oh, actually, I'm backed out as far as I can go. All right. Well, here, there we go. Oh, look at that. That's a good angle. Right there. So this is the deal of what we worked on today. And let me clear my camera controls out of the way. And thank you to everybody who, bore witness to and being nice about it and all of that kind of good stuff. Everything is just absolutely wonderful here at CLAldridgeArt Studio. And I will be back next week. I'll be making a video. Well, actually, I'm not going to make a video about finishing this one up because I think I basically showed you I really like it from right here forward. So I'm going to end up doing exactly this to all of this, and you've already seen that. But I will bring you a video about other things during the week, and maybe even one on time. I do like to post 2 videos a week, one a pre-record and one my live. I'd like to be able to do better than that. But I do want to draw, and that is for the next book, and so that will take a little bit of my time there. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and the thumbs up, and all of that. Look at that. I have 15 people currently, and 15 thumbs up, and thank you all for being here. Bye, everybody. Color something pretty. See you next week. And maybe I'll even see you out in streams this week.